Good morning, all of you. Today we have joined here for the seminar COVID-19 and Beyond Environmental and Health Issues. So this particular seminar is organized by the SS Memorial College, Kake Road, Ranchi. Myself, Dr. Paramita Gupta, welcome you all in today's webinar, the platform of new technology where we can share our knowledge and ideas. So before we begin today's webinar session, I would like to take this opportunity and privilege and honor to welcome our Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Ramesh Kumar Pandey, our Patron, the PVC Madam, Dr. Kamini Kumar, Chairperson, Dr. Shamshul Nehar, the Principal of SS Memorial College, my co-convener, Dr. Shumbul Siddiqui, the organizing team, our teachers, students, the technical staffs, and all the guests, those who have joined us in today's webinar. I now welcome today's chairperson, Dr. Shamshul Nehar. She is the principal of Constituent College, SS Memorial, under Ranchi University. Today's webinar, we can say, is the brainchild of Dr. Nehar. Dr. Nehar is very dynamic, super talented, and dedicated personality. She imparted her services for more than 25 years in zoology, in teaching and training. She has been awarded by various academic excellence awards along with the Senior Scientist Award given by the ZSI. She had also produced many PhDs and helped out research scholars in doing their work. She has full immense potential and talented, dynamic and focused personality who has brought the college into a long way and is still doing the best that a person can do on a service. So I now request Dr. Shamshul Nehar to kindly take over the webinar session and welcome all the guests and put forward her views and tell us regarding the topic today. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pranita. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Ranchi University, Professor Ramesh Kumar Pandey, Co-Vice Chancellor, Professor Kamini Kumar, my esteemed guest speakers and participants. A very good morning to all of you. At the outset, let me say that it is the best of time and worst of time. Worst of time is obvious, that is due to horrendous coronavirus. But best of time is that as the professors and intellectuals are confined in their homes, so it is the best time to bring them together on the virtual platform. Had it not been the lockdown period, we would not have been able to organize this webinar in such a short period of time. It was only 10 days back the idea of organizing the webinar clicked into my mind while having an online meeting with my faculty members, and all of them gave the topic COVID-19 and Beyond, Environmental and Health Issues. I would like to take a few seconds to introduce this topic. With the declaration of COVID-19 as pandemic by WHO on 11th March 2020, a complete lockdown was imposed throughout the country and the life of the countrymen came to a grinding halt. Though the pandemic and several other catastrophic events have happened in the past, 1918 itself only, people have witnessed Spanish flu. But corona pandemic is first of its kind because of its high reproductive number. Today, it has spread its tentacles to more than 200 countries, taking a toll of 4,46,000 lives throughout the globe. In India alone, the cases have risen to 3,82,532 and more than 12,000 lives have been lost. It has affected the whole humanity irrespective of economic, geographical and racial boundaries. It has brought damage to public health, economy, social system, communication, relationships, etc. Health and environment are two very important concerns of each and every individual. So, today's webinar focuses on these two aspects. As contact is the only source of infection of coronavirus, the social distancing is one of the important ways and means to prevent COVID-19. But this has totally jeopardized the social relationship and social fabric of our society. We are living a life never imagined before. As a result, lots of anxiety, lots of speculations are there. So this webinar has been designed in such a way that the experts may give insight to the problem and may come up with some solutions which may be beneficial to the humanity as a whole. Though more than 1 million people around the globe have recovered from coronavirus, but it is just like winning first of many battles. Because earlier experiences with SARS survivors, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome, it has come to light that the aftermath of this epidemic lasted for more than a decade. Some of the recovered coronavirus patients report breathlessness, fatigue, and body pain months after infection. Small-scale studies conducted in Hong Kong and Wuhan showed that the survivors grappled with poor functioning of the lung, heart, and liver. Along with attacking the respiratory system, the coronavirus is now known to attack many parts of the body. It is damaging from eyeballs to toes, from guts to kidney, and combating these infections, the immune system of the body is jeopardized, thus compounding the damage. What shape this present corona crisis will take and what scars it will leave is yet to be known. The researchers are studying the effect of SARS, which is caused by the virus of similar family. And one of the studies has shown that the survivors of the SARS suffered from lung infection, high cholesterol level, frequent sickness as long as 12 years. Regarding COVID-19, it is too early to predict its long-term consequences. Studies related to the effect of COVID-19 on human body and after the recovery will provide a good information to various stakeholders like government in the health sectors, to the doctors who are looking after the patient for long term, and to the companies who have to set their sick leave policies, etc. In the midst of devastating COVID-19 pandemic, environment had a heyday. I'll tell you how COVID-19 has positively affected the environment. NO2 is one of the major pollutants in the air, and high level of NO2 has significant effect on human health like worsening of cough, aggravation of respiratory disease, asthma, etc. And experts are finding noteworthy connection between high levels of air pollution and increased COVID-19 death rate. We know that human activity is primarily liable for discharge of NO2 in urban regions, with road transport being the main source. Airplanes, power plants, etc. all of which consume fossil fuels, add to the concentration of NO2 in the environment. Surprisingly, during the stringent worldwide lockdown, NO2 levels dropped heavily in the urban region and also in the Indian metropolitan cities. The worldwide abatement in NO2 level were first observed in China, followed by countries like Europe, North America, etc. In India also, the contamination level tumbled to a dramatic low following the lockdown in the month of March. Numerous scientists are of the opinion that drop in air pollution levels may as of now be saving a lot of lives just by lessening people's susceptibility to COVID-19. But the question arises, how long this ability will stay? After the lockdown is lifted, the levels of pollutants will rise to their normal and healthy level. So to make the current drops in air pollution lasting, genuine approach or change needs to be adopted. So use of electric powered vehicle instead of fossil fuel powered, shift to renewable energy, expanding of public transportation, fabricating more cycle paths, and encouraging individuals to jettison their own vehicles are some of the measures which, if adopted, will definitely reduce the pollution load in the country. Over and above, since the inception of lockdown due to pandemic and not availability of a specific drug or vaccine in the market, there have been widespread speculations about COVID-19. The people are in a state of despair and uncertainty clings to their heart. So today we have doctor, expert, intellectuals with us who will share their knowledge and views and enlighten us with successful health and environment intervention to help us get back to our normal lives. Now, I take the opportunity to welcome my esteemed guest speakers, Professor S K Bhatnagar, ex-Dean, College of Biotechnology, SVP, University of Agriculture and Technology, Merit, and presently Editor-in-Chief of Veritas, an international journal of plant research. You are most welcome, sir. Professor Sharup Mukherjee, Professor of Environmental Science and ex-HOD of Zoology, Ranchi, Dr. Venkatappa Rao, and retired Professor of Zoology, most welcome, sir. And Dr. Manazir Hasnan, ex-Medical Director, Chief of Surgery, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, heartily welcome, sir. I am grateful to all of you for accepting my invitation and sparing your valuable and precious time for making this webinar a grand success. My special thanks to my DC, Mr. Ramesh Kumar Pandey. Now, I would like Dr. Parinita, the anchor for today, who has shown keen interest in organizing this webinar, to take over. Dr. Parinita, please take over.
We will move on with the seminar today, and I welcome the first guest, Dr. S K Bhatnagar. Professor S K Bhatnagar has started his career in higher education way back in 1977. Professor Bhatnagar had been working as a professor in Cell Biology College of Biotechnology, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel University of Agriculture and Technology, Meerut, and remained head for 4 departments for more than 10 years. He has a vast experience of 40 years in teaching and research. He has also served as Dean, Pro-Vice Chancellor of the same university, as a nodal officer, and as Chairman of Screening Committee of the same Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel University. He is also the officiating registrar. These are few laurels to name a few. I request Professor S K Bhatnagar to kindly take up the session, and I formally welcome our first speaker, Professor S K Bhatnagar.
Very good morning to everyone, and it is a great opportunity for me to share some of my views in the webinar seminar which has been organized by SS Memorial College, the prestigious College of Ranchi. I thank the organizers, especially Dr. Nehar and our colleagues, for giving me an opportunity to interact through this web seminar. Now, as you all know that we all are being encountered with a very invisible type of virus, and it is posing a health hazard to the entire world, not only India, but the entire world is being suffered because of this virus. Now, as far as our world is concerned, we have a great biodiversity which includes plants, animals, microorganisms, and so many other things. There is a perfect balance between the living and non-living components or biotic and abiotic components, and there is a perfect ecosystem in the world, and this ecosystem work in coordination with each other. Now the important thing is that the nature produce this ecosystem, whether it is an ocean ecosystem, it is a forest ecosystem, it is a freshwater ecosystem, whatever type of ecosystem it is in the perfect stage, and the living and non-living or biotic and abiotic components, they are in perfect coordination with each other. Then what went wrong with the entire world? Because we started interfering into the ecosystem. We started overutilizing the biotic components as well as abiotic components. And this disturbance between the perfect balance which has been provided by nature, we are posing to different types of threat. COVID-19 is one such threat, and not only COVID-19, but in the earlier days, we had different types of viruses, different types of bacteria, different types of health hazard, which were either man-made or they were created by human beings because of their interference into the nature. Now I give you one example. In Indian mythology, particularly in Hindu mythology, we have seen or we have learned about Maharishi Valmiki. Now he was a person who was great saint, and later on he wrote Ramayana, which is a pious religious document as far as Hindu mythology is concerned. Now in the earlier time, Maharishi Valmiki was called as Ratnakar. He was born in a normal family, and for livelihood he was looting the persons, he was a dacoit, he was a murderer, and he used to earn his livelihood because of these type of cruel acts. What happened? One day, Narada came to him and he started fighting with him and tried to loot him. So what Narada said, that Ratnakar, you had been doing all these things, you had been looting the persons, you are murdering the persons, you are making them injured. What for you are doing all these things? What he said that I'll have to earn livelihood to feed my entire family, my wife, my children and everyone. Then Narada said that for whom you had been doing all these cruel acts, you are doing a sin. Are you sure that your wife, your children, or the persons who are depending on your cruel act, they will be sharing your cruelty? They will be sharing the sin which you are committing by murdering others, by looting others? Just go to your home back and ask them that what you are doing. And are they prepared to share it? So Valmiki, then Ratnakar, he went to his family and asked them that I had been doing all these things 24 hours to make you happy, to earn so many things for you, and I am earning lot of sin. Will you share the sin with me? Everybody, including his wife or the closest one, they said, why should we share? This is your act. You are earning sin. We are not earning sin. So why should we share the sin with you? And that was the moment that Ratnakar, he was completely transformed and he was totally devoted to the Almighty and he started worshipping and then came in contact with Ramayana. It is a long story, but what I want to emphasize is that a person can transform if the things are moving right. This is a story that Ratnakar, he was transformed into Maharshi Valmiki and wrote Ramayana. Likewise, we as human beings are running cats and dogs for earning money, destroying nature, destroying natural resources, damaging climate, which has been provided free of cost by nature. But for our selfish attitude, for fulfilling our own requirements, which are endless, which are having no end at all, we are doing all these types of sin. We are committing different types of damages to our nature, to our earth, to our climate, to our environment. Now, COVID-19 created corona pandemic. Perhaps this is to make us realize that the human being should stop running for the materialistic world, as we can survive with the minimum basic need. I think everybody has witnessed and experienced that what we need, we are confined to our homes. We are confined to the restricted livelihood materials, and even then we are surviving well. So whatever we are moving around, we are running around, are our additional requirements. But the basic requirements we are meeting while sitting inside home. At the same time, the near and dear for whom the human beings are doing all these types of panic, they are also aloof and they are not going to share. Now, one thing which is very different I want to share, that this type of pandemic has come with a fate that if a person suffers from corona and he dies, the best possible nears and dears to whom he considers to be the most closest one, they will not be able to pay the last rites to a person who died of corona pandemic. So this is a fact. This was a commitment which we made. And then later in our area, we started working that the people should be kept aware of this pandemic and what precautionary measures they should take. And this is just a small certificate which was issued on account of creating awareness in them. Now, we should very clearly understand that these type of viruses will come one after another. Spanish flu was there, plague was there, dengue was there, AIDS was there, and there are so many types of viruses. Nearly 249 types of different viruses are present in the atmosphere. So, after one or the other, these viruses will come to the human beings. They will either come to the human being either directly or through our environmental system, through our food, through different types of animals, or through water, through air, or through any other agency. And these viruses, when they attack on our system, what we should do? Either we should go to the medicines, we should take a treatment, and when a new virus like COVID-19 comes, we do not have the vaccine. We are not prepared for it. So, how can we prepare ourselves is more important. That we should always keep a good health. And for good health, we have a very well-designed immune system. Now, in the present time, what is happening? That we are focusing more on the prepared food from outside. We are focusing on the non-hygienic things which are being prepared in the market or which are being prepared by somebody different. And we have stopped taking, our children have stopped taking the food material which is prepared by in the fresh kitchen, in the very hygienic manner by our parents, by the mother or by our sister or inside the home. So what is happening that the immune system of the new generation and even the older generation which are in the middle age, that is becoming weaker and weaker. And when we lose our immune system, ultimately when we are weak from inside, anybody from outside can attack. If we are strong from inside, nobody from outside can dare to attack. So this is what we have to see. India is very rich in natural resources, particularly in the field of medicinal plants. And there is a dedicated ministry which is called as Ministry of Ayush. And this Ayush ministry includes all the natural resources which we are having, either through Ayurvedic system of treatment, homeopathic system of treatment, Unani system of treatment, or naturopathy or other things. All these things come under the banner of Ayush ministry. So, the in charge of this Ayush ministry or the minister, Shripat Nayak, he emphasized by the directive of Honorable Prime Minister that we should focus on different types of researches which will include the medicinal plants which we have as natural resources, and we should focus that what type of medicinal plants can be helpful in increasing the immune system. Although it is not new that our ancient people, rishis and munis and different types of Vedya or different types of Ayurveda Charya, they used to implement all these types of medicinal plants for curing different types of diseases. And therefore, they had a very long, healthy life. But with the passage of time, we started believing in shorter therapies. Iodex maliye kaam par chaliye. Means we want to have the medicines which give us a quick relief. It is just like we are sitting in a classroom and if some student asks a question, so there are two options. Either we should satisfy the student by giving an appropriate answer. Second thing, we should ask them to sit down and do not disturb the class. What is the best course as a teacher? The best course is that we should satisfy the inquiry made by the student, not by asking him to sit down and not to disturb the class. Because the anxiety which that particular student was having, it has been suppressed by the teacher. It has not been permitted to come out. It has not been permitted to get the solution. Rather, it has been suppressed. So what will happen? This will create a frustration, and this suppression will come out of his body either in this way or that way. Either he will create some sort of nuisance in the class, or he will create some sort of nuisance outside. Means because his curiosity is not cleared by the teacher. Similar is the case with different types of therapies. Like sometimes we suppress the disease, sometimes we suppress the pathogen, and that suppressed pathogen find some other way to come out of the body, and we find different types of ailment, to which we call as the side effect of the medicine. The Ministry of Ayush is focused on finding the root cause of the disease, root cause of the problem, and to eradicate it from the body forever. Now again, Indian Council of Medical Research comes into action, and it has been told that Ministry of Ayush will give the different types of projects. It will be submitted to ICMR, and they will find out whether these type of researches will be useful for the humankind or not, and then the final decision will be taken up. Now you can see that the only reason, the only way to fight COVID-19, and not only COVID-19, different types of viruses which have already entered into our biosphere, or the viruses which will come in the future to come. So we have to prepare our next generation, because our life has almost reached to the quarter part, or almost 3/4 of the life is complete for the senior scientists. But the younger generation, we have to provide them a safe environment. We have to educate them for developing a better immune system so that the viruses can be kept away. As you can see in the slide, I have tried that we should have a very strong hand, very strong immune system, so that all types of pathogens, all types of viruses, all types of harmful microorganisms, they should be kept away from our body, and they should not be allowed to disturb our system. Now in the recent time, everybody has become a doctor. Many of the people, they are suggesting different types of plants. But these plants have already been authenticated by different types of Ayurvedic Acharya, or different types of Vaidya who had been using all these types for curing human beings and for developing a better immune system. Now Ashwagandha is one, Withania somniferum. It is the botanical name of Ashwagandha, Withania somniferum. Then Anutel is another combination of oil which has been prepared to keep our nerves intact. Tulsi, Ocimum sanctum, is a pious plant which has been worshipped by the people for the time immemorial. And the plants which we worship does not mean that we worship for being Hindu or for being Muslims or for being of any caste and creed. But we worship them so that they can be conserved, so that they can be protected, so that they should not become endangered, because they are of paramount importance for the human health, and they are good for the entire society, irrespective of any caste, creed, religion or anything. Then Giloe, Tinospora. It is a very important plant which is being used nowadays, and so many people, they are habitual of taking either Giloe directly or in the form of some sort of formulation. So all these plants, they are of paramount importance so as to increase our immune system. Now let us talk a little about what immune system is. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. The first milk of mother is given to the child so that different types of antibodies are developed into the child, and he should be made able to fight against different types of pathogen after an individual takes birth in the world. So the immune system starts developing into the body, and it starts from the mother milk in the beginning. But later on, as soon as the child becomes elder, the child becomes old, then the immune system has to be maintained by ourselves. So immunity protects our body against disease. This is a simple definition what we understand as far as immune system is concerned. Now, what are the reasons of immunodeficiency? It may be a heredity or a genetical disorder, that the person should be weak. Some people, they get cold, they become warm, they get repeatedly fevers, they get ill. So that is a genetic character, because their parents are also weak, and therefore that is a heredity or inherited character from parents to offspring. Second is the environmental factor. In which environment we had been living. Whether we are living in a healthy, hygienic environment, then our immune system will be strong. If we are living in a positive environment, the people people around us are thinking positive and we are having a good healthy environment, cheerful environment, then we have a good immune system and we are able to fight against diseases. We are not perplexed, we are not under any nervous breakdown, we do not feel depressed, and the entire environment, as far as the nature is concerned, as far as our surroundings are concerned, our friend circle is concerned, that is the environmental factor which cause immunodeficiency. Because sometimes if a person is weak and the surroundings they start telling different types of story of negative attitude, that that person got ill and he died within 15 days. That person, he was having the similar type of symptom and he could not recover after 30 days of treatment and he died. So these are all negative environments which are created into a person who is already suffering from different types of diseases. So this is the reason of immunodeficiency. Now the primary cause of immunodeficiency when a baby has symptoms since birth which become more evident in young or older or elder stage. Secondary immunodeficiency is that which develop due to medicines. Because in India, everybody is a doctor and we take antibiotics like churan and chutney. Means sometimes like food we start taking antibiotics. So sometimes when we take medicines in bulk or without consulting a proper doctor or a physician, then they are reducing our immunity and it is the reason for immunodeficiency. Other ailments like a metabolic disorder, which is called a diabetes, or HIV, chemotherapy after cancer, and severe burns. If a person is suffering from all these type of ailments, then ultimately he is exposed to different types of medicines which reduce the immune system. Some people who are suffering from cancer, they are advised that they should be given chemotherapy or radiotherapy and all. As everybody knows, that chemotherapy is the ultimate protocol in allopathic medicine. So when chemotherapy is given, the immune system goes to the lowest level. Means a person who has recovered from cancer after chemotherapy or radiotherapy, they have a very weak immune system and therefore during COVID-19 it was advised that the person who are suffering from diabetes or metabolic disorder or are suffering from cancer or other types of heart ailments, they should not be exposed much to the environment. Therefore, because they are having already a deficient immune system and they may be attacked by this virus easily. In human, it may be a genetic disease like HIV, AIDS related illness or because of immunosuppressed. Now, how can we boost immune system? Needless to say that this is just a slide which I have tried to educate the young generation that the almonds, they are the source of vitamin E, which along with vitamin C, they keep the immune system healthy. If we take a handful of almonds in the morning every day, then our immune system will become very strong and we should be able to fight against different types of ailments. Then mushrooms, as you know, different types of oyster mushroom, Ganoderma or different types of other mushrooms are also there. It is a type of fungi belonging to ascomycetes, and these mushrooms, they are very rich in selenium and B vitamin. So these type of vitamins or riboflavins and niacins, they are also very helpful in increasing the immune system and the person can be stronger if they are habitual of taking mushrooms almost on weekly basis or twice in a fortnight. Now another is garlic. As you know, the people they have been very usually saying that if you take one small bud of garlic every day in the morning, then you can have a better immune system because garlic has got sulfoxide allicin. And if it is crushed, means garlic is crushed, then allicin is turned into allicin, which is unstable and converts into sulfur containing compound, which make it medicinally very important. So this is the medicinal value of garlic, because many of the people they reject garlic because of its odor, because of its foul odor, but it has got so many types of medicinal properties because of which our immune system can be made strong. Citrus fruit, as on the media and social media you had been listing every day, that all the fruits which are sour in taste, they contain vitamin C, or the vitamin C as a supplement we can take it. So all the citrus fruits, they contain vitamin C and they are very helpful in increasing our immune system. Now, how vitamin C works? Vitamin C functions against pathogen and enhance differentiation of B and T cells. Vitamin C increase the production of white blood cells. As you know, that white blood corpuscles, they are good and they are the fighters, they are the soldiers inside our body and they can fight against different types of pathogen. They are amoeba type cells and they are capable of engulfing the pathogen from the body. So the production of white blood cells is very important. So vitamin C increase the production of WBC and lymphocytes and phagocytes. We call them as phagocyte because phago means to engulf. So they engulf the pathogen and we are saved. We are protected against the pathogen. So vitamin C work against different types of pathogen and provide good immune system to our body. It acts as an antioxidant. To the younger generation, I would like to emphasize on the word antioxidant. Antioxidant means sometimes the oxygen, which is molecular, it is good for our health. And we depend totally on molecular oxygen. But sometimes these molecular oxygen or the oxygen molecules, they are broken up. And when they are broken up, they are converted into ions. When they are converted into ions, they are having two negative ions. Means two negative means they are capable, they are having 2 electrons extra. When they are having 2 electrons extra, just like a just like a person who is holding extra money, he will try to give it to somebody else to destabilize him also. A stable person, if he get extra money, then he will be destabilized and he will try to spend it some way or the other. So these free oxygen radicals, they enter into our body and they just provide electron to the stable molecules which we are having in our body. Then what happens? Then the stable molecules or the stabilized metabolic system get disturbed. So what we need? We need the chemicals, we need certain substances which can utilize these free oxygen radicals so that our metabolism can be restored or it can be as usual. So vitamin C acts as a very important antioxidant and help in fighting against. Now pomegranate, as you all know, it is also very important. It also help in increasing the immune system. These are the examples which I have given, that they inhibit the growth of different types of harmful bacteria, Escherichia coli, Salmonella, Shigella, Listeria, Clostridium, and so many other things. Now, what we see that turmeric, which is very important as far as Indian conditions are concerned, we use it in the kitchen. And the turmeric, it is very frequently found in India, but we started understanding its medicinal value when United States of America started patenting the turmeric powder or turmeric, and he started saying that turmeric we have patented or we are patenting, and if anybody want to use turmeric, then he will have to pay to United States of America. Then what happened? Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, they became alert, and whatever plant wealth, whatever biological wealth, medicinal wealth India was having, they started enlisting all those medicinal plants. And they declared the entire list in which different types of medicinal plants were listed, and that was patented so that no other country can patent the wealth of India or the plant which are already available in India. Turmeric is also a very good antioxidant, and there are so many types of researches which have been published because of the curcumin it has in turmeric. Lemon, as you know, vitamin C it contains. Green tea, it also contains antioxidant and thyroid mediated supplement. Indian ginseng, it contains 32 type of triterpenoids and 7 polyestyrene, 17 fatty acids, 8 amino acids, and so and so. Now we focus on microbes for health. Now the most important thing is one very important plant which we usually consider as a neglected plant, and these are microalgae. These microalgae, which once upon a time were neglected discipline, now they have been taken up by the scientists as a very important feedstock for preparing different types of pharmaceuticals, for cosmetics, for foodstuff, for different types of health supplements and different other things. So just a very brief idea I have been presenting. Microalgae is natural source of carotenoid. These are coloring agents for pharmaceutical and they are antioxidant. Carotene, as you find in carrot also, it is produced commercially from Unaliella salina and is a potent antioxidant. Now you can see astaxanthin, it is a red phytocarotenoid and it is obtained from unicellular green alga Hematococcus. The extraction is being done in Israel and it is being commercialized by that country. Lutein is obtained from Centesimus, it is another algae. In adequate quantity, it may prevent the effect of human disease like age-related muscular degeneration. Because as the age advances, there are different types of muscles which we are having. They become weak and the people, they start either trembling or they have difficulty in walking from one place to another. So the muscles, they become weak and it can fight, lutein can fight against the muscular dystrophy. The microalgae is also a natural source of PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids. Now these polyunsaturated fatty acids are nutritionally and pharmaceutically valuable. Microalgae can accumulate oil in the form of triacylglycerol or TAG, which stores polyunsaturated fatty acids. PUFA, like docosahexaenoic acid, is a component of healthy food, and algae are the prime producer of PUFA in marine system. Now, algae also is a dietary food supplement. Seaweeds or macroalgae, they prevent dreadful diseases like cancer, heart disease, aging, and Alzheimer. They have anti-mutagenic, hypocholesteric, and immunostimulant, anti-HIV, and anti-aging components. There are certain bioactive algae like Gelidium corticata, it suppresses reactive oxygen. So you can see that most of the algal species, they are helping in neutralizing the reactive oxygen which we are having, because reactive oxygen reduces our immune system. Reactive oxygen disturbs our entire metabolism, and the disease is because of the reduction in metabolic system or metabolic disorder. Because in Ayurveda, the people say that all the diseases, they start from our stomach. If the metabolism, if we are not digesting the food properly well, then different types of diseases crop up. So our digestive system or our metabolism should be strong. So all these things which we had been talking about, they are good as a bioactive agent and they help in neutralizing the reactive oxygen. In market, you can find different types of products on which it is written that they are antioxidant. Because in India, the market is based on certain nomenclature. If we start selling herbal drugs, if we start selling organic, if we start selling antioxidant, then the commercial manufacturers, they pick up those words and they utilize it for a different manner. On everything, they will write organic. Organic dye, organic cosmetic, organic lipstick, organic powder, organic this and that, organic food, organic potato, organic. Now, likewise, antioxidant has also become a very important nomenclature. But the fact is that there are certain plants, there are certain natural products which are helping in neutralizing the reactive oxygen and helping in increasing our immune system. Nostoc spheroides is another antioxidant and can scavenge superoxide radicals. Superoxide, we are talking about antioxidant and superoxide. Antioxidant are those I told you when oxygen splits into two ions. So one ion usually it gets attached to water molecules which our body is holding. So when water molecule combined with oxygen, reactive oxygen, then it is converted into hydrogen peroxide. So hydrogen peroxide is also a type of resource for producing reactive oxygen. So hydrogen peroxide and oxygen, when it combined with oxygen, reactive oxygen combined with oxygen, it forms O3, and means ozone. So ozone is also containing, or it is also a source of reactive oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide is also a source of reactive oxygen. So what we do, we understand that the nature has produced an ozone covering around us. This ozone covering is to protect the ultraviolet radiation. So why the ozone is not available on the soil? We use ozone in biotechnological experiments just to kill the bacteria. When we go for tissue culture experiment, we want to neutralize a particular area, then what we do, we ozonate it. We provide ozone into it so that the reactive oxygen comes out and it kills the entire bacteria which are present in the system or which are present in the culture medium. So I think the young scientists, they might be able to understand that what is the role of reactive oxygen, how does it harm our metabolism, and if we want to kill bacteria, then how the reactive oxygen outside our body can kill it. And hydrogen peroxide and ozone, they are the important sources of reactive oxygen. Now, these are some pictorials you can see: Pteridium, Spirulina, nostoc, and Porphyridium. These are just slides which I tried to show you that these are the plants of paramount commercial importance. Now, the marine algae like Sargassum and Ishige species are UV protected. Some commercial organizations which had been producing the skin, the face creams or different types of facials or different types of cream which can protect our body against ultraviolet light. If they are organic in real sense, then they use marine algae like Sargassum and Ishige so that they can utilize them, they can mix it up with the base and can produce different types of cream which can protect our body against ultraviolet radiation. You know that the USA is the worst sufferer of ultraviolet radiation because most of the spaceships, most of the aircrafts, they are projected out, and the people in USA, you will never find the people in USA sitting in the direct sunlight. Very recently, my daughter is there, so I happen to be in US, and most of the scientists who had been to US, they might have observed that the people, they avoid sitting in direct sunlight because they develop blisters on the soil and on the skin, and they develop skin cancer. So most of the people in United States, they are not exposed to direct sunlight because they have the fear of developing skin cancers because of extreme ultraviolet radiations coming out through the sunlight. So alva is also there, Gracilaria, and different other species of marine algae. You can see this Sargassum, Ishige, alva, and Gracilaria. Then you can find Dictyota, Polysiphonia, Cytosera, and Acronia. There are different types of extract which are called as green food in the form of Acronia cava or extract. Now, Spirulina, as you can see, it is a very important single cell protein, which is a cyanobacteria, which is a blue-green algae. And these blue-green algal plants, they have a great rejuvenation capacity. They increase our immune system to a larger extent. If we take Spirulina capsule a day, because in Rajasthan, I have observed that one of my very close friends, they had been working on a Department of Biotechnology project for tribal women, and the tribal people are much more in number in Jharkhand also, or in different parts of Bihar, or in other parts of the country. So they earn their livelihood because of the Spirulina cultivation in their home. They take a small tub and put water into it. They put certain type of nutrient provided by the scientists, put Spirulina into it, just allow it to multiply. They just take it out, harvest it, and dry it on a small newspaper. And when it is dried, they just collect it, convert it into powder, and just provide it to the commercial organization. they fill into the capsules and sell it in the market. So it is a very good livelihood for the tribal people which are habitual of cultivating spirulina. So this is one very important single cell protein which can increase our immune system. Now, specific species of seaweed, they can also be used for the treatment of skin disease. It was a recent study conducted by a student of botany in Department of Karachi University in Pakistan. So, different types of researches are being carried out by different students on different aspects. Now, this is the ultimate. If we go forward to 2070 AD, Anno Domini, and some aliens, they come to the earth and visit the earth, then what they will observe, if we are not vigilant enough, then there is no human race on the earth, there is no human community, and what has been done to the human community, because the human community, they prepare the environment which is fatal for itself. Like in plant succession, you find that one after another, different types of cereal communities develop, and these cereal communities, they are harmful for themselves, and therefore one community is taken over by another community. Likewise, the human beings, they are creating such an environment which is becoming fatal to them, and there shall be no human being because of the toxic waste, because of the loss of biodiversity, and because of the different types of viruses. So the aliens, what they will feel, that it seems that the human being failed on the way to sustainable development, and that will be the fate of the earth if we are not vigilant enough. So I thank you all very much for the patient hearing, and I thank the organizer for providing me an opportunity to express my views on COVID-19 and our immune system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bhatnagar. It was an overwhelming response, actually an overwhelming feeling to learn your words, to know from you. We had talked about Ratnakar changing into Valmiki. You spoke about a very strong immune system. You spoke about the Ministry of Ayurveda, Ayush, and the ICMR, and the role of ICR to patent our plants that have been in exercise patenting by the USA. We have learned about antioxidants and also the use of microalgae and other organic India. We have spoken about 2 minutes rub of iodex, which was also a very, very true thing that the youth think of. But actually, COVID-19 has taught us how to actually think more and more on the immune system boosting, and also to take up Ayurveda and other natural sources. So thank you very much for your words. And I also appreciate the way you had also illustrated the things, which was very, very, very commendable. And I do believe that all the participants, my fellow students, those who are joining, and other people had actually gained from your viewpoint. So thank you very much.